Camera speedy.
Sound speeds.
And action.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, we ready?
How do we start this?
Welcome to the Urban Pebble podcast. Yeah! We
Yeah!
got a real audience. That's real.
There's so many people here. Oh my god. I can't believe it.
And we know where the buttons are this time because we've had historically, not to name names, there have been some miscues.
I've seen the clips, yeah.
Why did we publish our mistakes?
Oh no!
Well, today we have a very, very special guest who may have been referenced 1 or 50 times in the last
Millions
video.
of times.
Bringing in the amazing Nick Cartwright.
Woohoo!
Hello. Glad to be here.
We are glad to have you. Yeah,
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Nick is a filmmaker, photographer, DP, also part of Film in a Bag Productions, our production company.
Woohoo!
We all make stuff together, so I've spent a lot of time with this Nick fella.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of you guys.
Oh jeez! The truth comes out. It's just gonna storm out at any moment. Oh no!
This is where we break him. Today's the day.
One podcast too far.
Sweet. So I know one thing we were talking about. You started as a photographer, right?
Yeah, that was my whole journey diving into arts and the creative field was through photography. I went to school for photography. I graduated from the Illinois Institute of Art in Schaumburg, which is now defunct and does not exist. It's now a parking lot, I believe.
It's not going back to the graduation parties.
Somebody was talking about alumni yesterday, and I was
It
like,
was me. I was talking about alumni network.
Have you parked there?
Wait, it's truly a parking lot
It's
now?
actually I think they didn't repave it. They grew grass there, so it's actually much nicer. It's honestly,
it's a parking lot with grass.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but I feel like I got what I needed out of there. Photography was a thing for me that I started off just really early on in kind of my sophomore year of high school. I was I just want to take pictures. I had a bunch of friends who had little point and shoots, and I was jealous of them. So I got one of my own, and I did what a few of my friends were doing at the time, which was a 365 album where I took a photo a day for an entire year.
Oh man, do you still have that?
I still do. Yeah, I posted it all on Facebook and I've done a couple since.
Now I kind of want to see it.
Oh,
No, I'm not posting 365 photos.
I'm sorry. We have this ongoing joke that I make his life difficult by saying things that he now has to put in the podcast.
And when she says it's true. It's canon.
You're actually not going to see the rest of the podcast. You're just going to see a
Just
carousel
Nice.
of my really bad photography from sophomore year. Definitely. I thought I was really good back in the day. Didn't know what I was doing. Getting some school helped a lot. It's one of those things. I felt like school is something where I was could I have learned all this on my own? Yes. But would I have? Probably
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those things where I really felt like I appreciated having the structure and here's a challenge, a very specific challenge with constraints already set up for me to go practice and play within these confines. And through that, I started building a lot of skills in photography. I fell in love with lighting, lifestyle photography, outdoor stuff where you would incorporate a subject into their environment. And, there's a lot of techniques that I learned in still photography that now greatly apply to what I do in film. In fact, it almost feels like I did the Dragon Ball Z training in the super heavy atmosphere, and now going from still photography to film, I'm this is easier. The lights stay on, and I don't have to predict where they're gonna hit in a flash, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because that was something I know you've mentioned before is you thought that video is going to be harder because it's a continuous version of photography, but you said it's actually pretty easier.
It's one of those things. I think as far as lighting is concerned, I think photography is much more challenging because you've got that one moment, that one shot, and there's a lot of ways that the lighting can affect the motion in a shot as well. Versus video, obviously you can control the motion, shooting higher frame rates and stuff like that, or changing your shutter angle to get blur or not blur. But I find that if you light it and the light looks good to your eyes in the moment, it's going to look good in the video for the most part. Versus photography, you could have these wildly drastic, I mean, like the flashes, the model lights don't do half of what the flash does. So, you know, you don't really get to see the final result of an image until after the flash fires, which I find is kind of that's challenging. But also on the flip side, photographic composition is a little simpler to me because you're only worried about one static frame versus video. You know, when you're adding motion, both of the subject as well as the camera and all these other elements and stuff, and maybe possibly the lighting as well. Now there's a lot more planning that goes into getting those compositions to work in video. So I was really daunted by like the idea of video as
sometimes you
as
know
a
so
student.
much and you just
And I think I've always been that way. Like I've always been the kind of person where I'm like, I'm not ready to show what I can do yet because I'm not where I want to be yet, and I've got so much to learn. And then like before I knew it, I was in this like corporate marketing job where everyone was looking at me as like the leader and like the person who had all the information. I was like the one providing critiques and helping people like understand the softwares better. And I was like, wait, am I the authority? What's going on here?
just you know so much. Well, you know, and we actually mentioned in a previous episode that one of the lovely things about working with you and also with Daniel is that you guys are so willing to share this knowledge. So yes, you are the expert, in my opinion.
I love sharing because, like, to me, especially like in the context of like film in a bag, especially, but even beyond that, you know, if I'm on a set, you know, sharing that knowledge, I hate the idea that like, you know, like, oh, I got to protect my job or whatever, you know, like, listen, if you've been in the space long enough, if you've been doing it, your job is protected by the virtue of you being a known entity and being good at what you do. I'm not trying to gatekeep information. In fact, like sharing the information makes the set run smoother. Like if somebody doesn't know how something works, I'm going to explain it to them, especially if there's somebody I want to be on a set with again in the future. I'd rather have them know it than have to explain it a third time or just go do it myself. And as far as like, you know, for Film in a Bag, I think it's so cool that like just through our shared learning and being on sets together, I feel like anybody can sort of pick up any role and, you know, just sort of dive in. And like, you know, we've had everyone at some point running camera or audio or some piece of the production puzzle. And I think it's cool that, you know, and also just because like I'm really hungry to learn and I'm really passionate about the things I have learned, so I can't help but share it sometimes too.
No, that's definitely an energy that we're finding with the people who are making their films come to life or working on film projects pretty consistently here in Chicago. There's like an energy of being open to learning, being open to sharing. And I think that really helps when you're making films and starting to make films and meeting people.
So in love with the Chicago community since I've been like starting to really delve into it. And I've been met with so many people that are just like genuinely passionate creatives that just want to do this stuff and they're excited. And they, you know, like, and there's a lot of people like really willing to give their time, their energy. You know, it's the kind of thing where like if I have a script that I'm like still trying to finalize or something, I'll just shoot it to some people, and I get great feedback just because people are excited to see what I'm cooking up, which is really cool. You know, I love that. Yeah,
I love that because it really is that, I don't know, that just passion just kind of thrives in the Chicago scene, and everyone just wants to make these fun things, and
yeah,
just kind of the best people.
Yeah, I mean, we're all in this together. It's hard work, no matter who you are or where you're starting from. And I think I just have so much respect for people willing to show up and do it that I'm like, you know, like I shouldn't be a weird gateway between your ability to keep showing up and doing it. And the more people there are in the Chicago community doing it, the better work that comes out of here. And, you know, I don't like to like get on like a high horse of like me. I'm single-handedly going to change the, you know, like any of that kind of stuff.
Oh, Nick, are you going to single-handedly change all of this?
No,
Do it, change it.
No. But I mean, like, I just think like if everybody had that same attitude, that would make a huge impact as far as like, you know, Chicago's, you know, standing in the worldwide film scene and stuff like that. I feel like, you know, Chicago sometimes gets a bad rap. They're not the cheapest place to shoot. They're not the most set up with screening sites or, you know, you know, production locations or things like that. But I think that there's a lot of passionate and talented people coming out of Chicago.
Yeah, because
like,
I know
on the daily.
I've that's one thing I was talking with someone, and because it is always like there's always like that, is Chicago up and coming, and is it like it keeps on
do
like
we need to move to
living
LA
in
real
that-
quick, or
yeah,
like do we need to move to New York or Atlanta? Or?
But there's like all these cool things coming. But the thing that they had made clear when they were talking was the reason they were saying that Chicago hasn't taken off despite a lot of this stuff is that like infrastructure for creating the content isn't here. So like we have production studios that are filming shows here with actors and crew here, but the writer's room is in LA and the producer is in LA
And they
the
hire
company
actors from LA.
and
and they bring in PAs from LA. And it's like, why? We have them here.
So it's I think that like we don't have that necessarily here, but the strength that Chicago has is the like we're talking the people, the passion, people coming together. And I think like when you start gatekeeping and doing anything like that, you get in the way of that. And I don't think, especially in Chicago, because we don't have that option of like you're gatekeeping, but you're in a company that's you're writing. It's like the strength actually is by bringing other people in and getting them better. And then that empowers them to create something and you're helping with that and they're helping you with something else. And you get to build something that maybe would have cost way more or wouldn't get made or, you know, but it's everyone coming together like a community to build that.
None of this stuff happens like by yourself, you know, like no, like I mean, I guess some people have done it, but it's so rare and it's so, there's so many moving parts and you need so many different people to be aware of different roles. And, you know, I think like by fostering the community, by, you know, bringing people into the fold, helping them learn, helping them grow, like that's building your future collaborators. That's building your next film set. That's like the kind of stuff where, you know, like I felt like working with you guys, like I was able to like just sort of see like an opportunity where like everyone here wanted to learn all the stuff that I knew. I wanted to learn the stuff that they knew. We were all sharing, and now all of our sets have been, you know, more streamlined and, you know, higher quality, and our shoots have just been like exponentially growing in like what we're capable of. And I think that's like, I'm like, it's just proof in the is in the pudding. Like we like by sharing and, you know, building something together, we're making stuff that we talk about this all the time. We were all individually freelancers before, you know, we all kind of came together and formed Film in a Bag. And like that stuff is like, it was hard. We all were struggling to some degree. And I feel like now there's like this support and like we're all in this together. And as things, if we have like a hard month or something, it feels like, you know, I really trust and believe in this team to like get us to the next step. And, you know, and then on set, I just feel like, man, wow, like I'll think of things and, you know, like Daniel or somebody will already have, you know, done, you know, like a whole list of things that I was like, I gotta remember that. And it's great because it, you know, it just means that like it's the stuff that we've already shared. It's like now it's common knowledge amongst us and we're like just more efficient and better for it. I just love it. I think it's so cool. Yeah.
So what was when did you start to transition from photography to video? And how was, like you were talking earlier about like that you don't want to do something until you're like, oh, I'm ready to show you. So like how long was that process that you were like learning and setting up something and then at some point, you know, have to do it?
The entire time I was in school, I had this feeling like, should I be doing film? I don't know. But then I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on photography. I'm going to get good at that. I'm going to really focus on my lighting skills. I'm going to, I started trying to get work as a photographer. And then slowly but surely, I got to kind of where I was like hoping to get, where I was getting paid in a marketing department, you know, as a photographer / you know, multi-hyphenate, motion graphics, graphic designer, video guy. Like, and in that job, I started getting thrown some challenges where I had to shoot video. And then in those challenges, I realized, I'm like, oh my God, everything I've already been doing, like kind of just directly applies to this. I don't think like I should be so afraid of video. Meanwhile, like my wife and I, the two of us had a million ideas. The two of us are just really creative people. We spend so much time just like riffing, talking about silly stuff together, you know, imagining, you know, goofy films or things we could make.
Yeah,
And
that checks out.
yeah, and you know, it got to this point where like we had a million ideas, and then I was getting really, really frustrated with this job that I had. I felt like it just wasn't the right fit anymore. Teresa, I know we've talked about a lot.
At length.
That's for the other podcast.
That's maybe a therapy podcast.
Yeah, possibly. But you know, it was not going the route I wanted to, and I started seeing all these opportunities for things that I believed in. Like, I could make this, I could do this, I can, you know. And one of those things was also regarding film. And then what really tipped the scales is I started taking an acting class actually in 2023. So I took classes at Green Shirt Studio, and
that's out here in Chicago.
Yep, out in Chicago. And it is just a wonderful school. They've got a great community, and the program, they teach the Meisner acting method, but you know, the Meisner method there's been practitioners of it and teachers that have given it a bad rap, but Green Shirt, I think, does an incredible job of making it just like this very safe, wonderful environment to go like learn and play and take risks. And I got so much out of it. And one of them, it's really cheesy, but like one of the main like core tenets of Green Shirt is this idea that you are enough. And
I love that
it really,
for acting
and
in life.
You know, it's one of those things like without taking the courses and like understanding the deeper context, it sounds a little woohoo, but the idea, but like truthfully, when you get into it, you know, there's this thing that like people want to see your version, like what you bring to the table. They want you to inject a piece of your unique self into the role. And that is what is inherently interesting, is when people don't like, if you're just doing, you know, what everyone expects you to do, or you think everyone expects you to do, you're fitting yourself into this little box. You're not being like this authentic version of yourself. And your performances get very, you know, stale, or, you know, everything's like, you're not in like conversation with the other actors in the scene, because you're already making decisions before you ever set foot onto the stage, and you're not like reacting to what's being given. And there was this piece of that, like, you are enough, that like started, as I started doing that type of work, started ringing true in the rest of my creative life, where I was like, man, like, I've been learning how to, you know, I've always been like trying to get like more technically better at photography and blah, 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 blah. And then there's this point at which I was like, in the midst of all this, I'm like, yeah, but the stuff I like isn't necessarily like technically good. I like stuff that's like dreamy, soft focus. I like things that are, you know, shot on like a telephoto lens, just because I like the way that compresses the image and it makes it feel more surreal. And there's things like that I'm like, oh, this is the stuff that like stands out to me. This is the stuff that I should be pushing towards. Mm-hmm. And then the same became true with film. I was like, you know, the thing I've been afraid of in doing film, I think, was always, you know, like, will people get it? There's like all these film buffs out there that are going to like analyze it and be like, why would he have done this very specific, you know? And then I kind of finally was able to let go of like, what are people going to think? And I started just being like, what do I want to do? Mm-hmm. And
that's a journey.
I like that though.
It was really profoundly like impactful to me. And so then I started, you know, just taking a swing. Sarah and I, the two of us.
Your wife, Sarah.
Yes, my wife, Sarah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We have had a Sarah on the podcast before. So
It's not Sarah.
I just wanted to distinguish for folks who are following, different Sarah.
Yeah, we wrote a short screenplay based on an H.P. Lovecraft story that we really liked, and we made it kind of our own, and I did some weird stuff with it, mixed aspect ratios, did a lot of like first person POV, and it was all just to like put you in the shoes of the character who's being sort of like lured in, and it's like a little short, creepy,
that was great,
horror film.
Yeah, Adam, you went to
I got
like
to go see the Facets premiere, which was
Yes.
wonderful, as we just like got out into this. I know there was like snacks and a bar set up and fundraising.
You went all out.
Things.
I was sad to have missed it.
It was so fun.
To us, we were like, that event was just as much a celebration for all the people who worked really hard for basically not like just for a couple of meals, you know, and we wanted to give back to them somehow, give them some free drinks and some snacks, and just say like thank you for all your hard
But
work.
saying thank you goes a long way. And we were talking about in a recent episode, one of the episodes, that like kind of being the kind of person who does feed people, who does appreciate the favors, who does actually take the time to say thank you. It makes a big difference. And now you have like a whole film that's basically proof that that works.
Yeah. The thing I'm the most proud of too is like we decided we'd rather just get more like people, like more butts and seats basically. I'd rather have the most people viewing it as possible than like try to charge some like crazy ticket price or whatever. And it was really Sarah's idea. She really was like, I just want everyone to make it. I want everyone to like not have a reason to not come basically. So we made the ticket price free or a donation based if you wanted to like kick us back some money as like thanks for coming to the event. And then we gave incentives, like we made like a little raffle and other things, so we felt like we could like afford the event. But it was just like a really fun way to celebrate and just to like, just again, like huge thank you to everyone who worked on it, and, you know, let them see it on a big screen, see their hard work kind of paying off, and see it with an audience too. So like they could hear the reactions, hear the, you know, like, and for us, it was also really gratifying too, because we'd never done anything like that before. And we just were like, we were so scared. We were like, I hope anybody even kind of likes it. And yeah. And
oh, it's so good. No,
Thank you, yeah.
it's called The Picture in the House.
Picture in the House. Yeah.
And it's currently out and about in the festivals, right?
Yeah, you know, it's been kind of slow going. Obviously, it's the first film. I've gotten into one so far. We aired at the Chicago Film Frenzy back in, I think, like March, and I was thrilled that even happened, because
That's exciting.
Just from like, you know, in our minds, we're like, if we get into one, we've done okay on a first film, you know, and so like that Band-Aid has already been ripped off. I feel really good about that. Now the one I'm hoping and praying for is that we submitted it, since it is an H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. We submitted it to the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival in Rhode Island.
Oh, fingers and toes crossed.
Just hoping and praying.
When do you find out?
Probably like early August, I think.
Okay, well we'll keep it. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
I am. At this point, though, I've spent so much time with the film that I'm like working on a recut of it already.
And this is a good introduction to Nick.
Yeah, actually, we're gonna take a little break.
Man, I guess they'll just let anybody do these ads nowadays, huh? I'm Nick Cartwright. I'm also a member of Film in a Bag, and if you guys are looking for commercial work, videos, live event coverage, anything of the like, you can find us at filminabag.com.
Yeah!
Whoa.
Oh, sorry.
God, I can't believe you guys got this whole audience
We
here.
got them here. They're here for you.
So many people.
You
like,
got them here.
Yeah, wow.
Daniel's clapping. Now you know that Daniel's our cameraman, so Daniel's clapping.
Wait, so one thing I did want to bring up that I thought was really cool at the Picture in the House premiere with the, like you were talking about the free tickets and stuff. And speaking of crowds, our loud crowd, no, that was something we found really early on. So Teresa and I are part of an improv group called Part Dog, and we do the Part Dog show.
We usually plug it.
Yeah.
In our
Come
podcast.
out to our next show when it is.
I still haven't been to one, which is insane.
Change that.
Nick.
I know. I've been wanting to go. It's crazy.
It's super fun. It's such a fun crew. But Teresa and I had obviously started doing filming things, and we had a weekly show that we did up until COVID hit. And it ran over a year. But one of the things we did was my first short film that I did with Miles Strung Austin was Doors, that we had created, and we're like, let's do the premiere at the show. That'll be our opener, because normally we'd have like a group come in and do a little opener. And we're like, we got this like 16-minute film.
You already have a captive audience.
Yeah. We're like,
Right. And what we found is we doubled, tripled, quintupled our captive audience by having a film open for us.
But it was not just the film. It was, what we did was, if you worked on it, you got your
For
ticket
free.
for free. So normally it was like $10 tickets for the improv show. And it was like, you're in...
in the film, no need to pay.
So what ended up happening too is everyone came, which is awesome. It opened everyone. It's a chance to also say thank you to them and get to see it in this cool setting. But then of course, then everyone also brought their families and and it became this like thing where one, we sold more tickets, even
we sold
having a bunch of
so many tickets.
things. Two, it just became this huge wondrous event for the film, and it wasn't even like that was. I remember Miles and I were trying to finish it because it was the Halloween show, and it was Doors, which is a short about doors coming to life and eating people. So we're like, we have to.
You can watch it on the YouTube.
Hey, yeah. Watch Doors, and we. But we were literally editing the last bits of it. Right up until the show was about to start, and we had the export bar going, and I literally left it still exporting, and Miles ran in later with like the flash drive with it.
You're like in the middle of an improv show, just like sweating.
He's gotta come soon. He's gotta come.
Doing the warm ups, and you're like, I'm really already
It's
warm.
here, we got it. It was like the rough cut still, and we're like, great, and it was great. It was such a wonderful show experience, which then we ended up actually doing all the finalizations. After COVID was when it ended up getting like the finished coloring and sound effects and all that. And then it got out to film festivals, and it was like cool that this better version of the thing was out there and it got accepted and stuff. But we're like,
but honestly,
we don't get to see that. That's
seeing it with everybody was what mattered.
Yeah. That was the way more fun.
Something I feel about like the film festival circuit in general is that it's an opportunity to get it to more eyes, right? And what do you want when you make a film is for people to see it, right? And I think doing like local screenings and events like that is such a powerful way to like guarantee that people are going to see it. If they know they're going to meet you there or see you there, or if you have friends that are nearby. I feel like a lot of filmmakers discount the power or like discredit the power of, like removing those barriers to see your film. A lot of people like want to get it on streaming, and then your friends have to pay for it to see it, or Or
then you're like bugging people. Can you take time out of your day to do this thing by yourself?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're spending time with me, but the film is already done. It's not like an event or a feeling. And I 100% agree that one of the big goals I have for one of Adam's films that's been in production and post-production for a while now is really kind of doing a little mini, like we curated ourselves tour of screens.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. Yeah.
I think if we can build,
just book a couple of like facets type locations around like the Midwest, and
that's my goal.
Market it like crazy, and then like get people to show up. Like if you know people in those communities and stuff.
Like I think would be fantastic. And
I also think there's a lot of power in like you were mentioning with Part Dog, like combining two events together. They're stronger. I mean, just like we were saying, how films are stronger when you start incorporating other people and building them up. Your film built up Part Dog built up your film. There is this really, really powerful thing in like combined programming. I've seen other filmmakers do things where it's like a trivia night with live music, and then you see a screening of 3 short films. Because like,
why not?
And now people are seeing the films, and there's an event to come see. There's and I feel like there's a good way. I mean, even doing a donation-based ticket price or like a next to nothing ticket price so that you get people in the door. I still think there's a lot of opportunities to like fundraise if the films have merch, if there's like a raffle prize, or if there's like a specialty cocktail that people have to pay for or something like that.
All things that Nick did for his film.
The specialty cocktails were free.
But that's there's something. I had this weird little stupid thought a while back because I was like when you're in film, it's really hard to like judge your success level because what it used to be the box office, and then it's like you make this thing, but like did it get to fests, and then that's kind of it, or did it get a bunch of views online or not, and then like either way, if it did both of those but didn't get purchased, is that a thing? If it got purchased but no one watched, like there's really no way to scale it, like what it is. And I was like thinking of that, and then I was watching some old movie, and I was like, what would my position be like in old timey things, right? Like like if you're a doctor, you were a doctor back then, like that's who you were. And
Okay.
and
So what would your position be?
I thought, like-
Old-timey Adam?
in old timey Adam
Yeah,
ways.
You gotta do it with the old-timey voice.
Ah, yes. I would kind of
Transatlantic, like
transatlantic. Everybody, come on down and see the show. And but I do think it would have been something involving like theater or like
Would you have been a charlatan?
probably like
There he is in the town square, everyone.
what's it, P.T. Barnum kind of
grifter?
thing? Yeah, give me your money for an elephant.
Open my jacket. Ah!
But it really was like the filmmaker's position in society is essentially that of like bringing people in and showing them something, and that's all like the old circus, a theater show, a live theater show is all that. Even band performances are similar.
Right up, come on,
And you know, film being like it's a newer invention relatively, a newer art form. It's hard to like get that purpose, but then like I backtrack to like, oh, that's all the success that can be its own success. Like you don't need it to be like it sold a big production thing or it made it into a million things. It can literally be like, if you break it down to like, I'm gonna put this film on at this theater and invite people and I'll be there and other people can come and enjoy it and have a fun night and talk
That's
with
success.
people and create that communal space.
I also think creating like an environment for the film to be enjoyed, where like, you know, AMC they do a lot already. They've got the funny popcorn buckets. They've got the popcorn and the food and the drinks and all that kind of stuff and the chairs that recline. Like there's things that they do to entice you to go see the film outside of just, you know, the film itself. But I think when you work to create an environment where people enjoy the film, they have better feelings about the film after they leave too.
This is just like a little hack. You're like, you want people to like your film.
Yeah,
Make them like it.
I mean,
Make them have an experience.
no one told me to my face it was bad, so I mean, I did all right.
But that is like, I know like going to Regal a lot, I'll go and they don't always have like, I'll be in a theater alone or like with a handful of other people more and more, and it feels a little more sterilized versus then I go to like the music box or facets and you are
that's
just
the
like
one that
surrounded
Austin
by people
loves.
who are obsessed with whatever that film is that night, and sometimes people are dressing up. There's my favorite is always the people who spill out in front of the theater afterwards and everybody's talking about the film. It's not just a let's go home. It's like, oh my gosh, and I never thought that, and I didn't even know this movie existed.
See
And
that
my
twist
friend brought
coming?
me, you know, like,
Yeah.
It's so much fun, and I think that has been removed a little bit on the larger scale of films, and when you find those pockets, it's just so magical.
Awesome, yeah. I think, and just having, I mean, you know, it's a little cheesy, but like I kind of love like having people kind of united around like experiencing something you made. You know, that's just like I think to me like that is a huge success as far as our film is concerned. I mean, obviously there's a ton of other, you know, little ways you can measure that, but I think like if you got people together and they had a great time and, you know, your film was part of what helped create that, I think that is, I mean, that's why we're making them,
So
right?
basically, everybody who's listening to this podcast or watching it is invited to come to the next, whatever the next project is,
which
right?
there's so many projects, too. We ain't gotten into that.
But it's good. It's good. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, that's something that Adam and I have talked a lot about, like what would success be like for some of our films that we've been putting out all these years. And I really do think it circles again and again and again is getting people to be part of the community and be able to actually show up in person in a place and experience the art with you that you created. So like, cheers to, where's my I need a podcast drink so I can cheers to it.
We have a little sound cue.
What do we want to sound cue?
Sci-fi.
I think it's that one.
Choose?
Is
We're
it, or
choosing?
is it this one?
My favorite one.
We're choosing?
Nope.
No.
No.
There we go.
That was so spooky.
That I like. That was really
I
spooky.
had a
Spooky
50-50.
toast.
There we go. We
Poison in the drink.
did that.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
We appreciate having
Always
you.
a pleasure.
Where can people keep track of your films?
So my main Instagram is at Nick Cartwright Creative. There's underscores between each word. Sorry about that. And I've also got Cosmic Egg Productions is my production company. That is not this production company, Film in a Bag, that we all do together. But it's my film one. And I got a couple other shorts in the works right now. 2 in post production, or technically 3 in post production because I helped out on Makeup Sex as well.
What if I was an actor looking to learn a thing or two?
Oh, you're just setting me up.
Yeah.
So I've also, as I mentioned, I've been learning from Green Shirt Studios. Now I am a teacher at Green Shirt Studio.
This we can do. Yes.
Oh, thank you, audience.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, so now I'm a teacher at Green Shirt Studio, and we have just opened up a new location where I live in Elgin, Illinois.
Tell it to the camera.
I live in Elgin, Illinois, and you can take an acting class at Green Shirt Studio with me, working out of Side Street Studio Arts, the gallery there. I would love to have more students in my class. I am so passionate about teaching acting, and I would love to help you. So please sign up. You can find info on greenshirtstudio.com.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, and we're Teresa and Adam. You can
Yeah.
watch all the films on
That's
Urban
right.
Pebble. Follow the behind the scenes and silly adventures on at Urban Pebble on Instagram. And we'll be back
Thanks
next
for
month.
joining
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Bye.
Close.
And cut. That's a wrap, everybody.